Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I'm fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country in case you are outside the republic. The politics of this country is already taking shape. And it's already high voltage. Yesterday, I did a video about Rigathi Gachagua and Johnson Sakaja. And today, Rigathi Gachagua and Johnson Sakaja met for the first time in Nairobi when they received William Samoei Arap Ruto. And from their body language, it is clear that there are still unresolved issues amongst them. And by the way, yesterday, Johnson Sakaja made it very, very clear to Rigathi Gachagua that he's not going to be held hostage over time and that he had to agree with Ruto and Raila Odinga on how to run Nairobi. And he ended up appointing 3 people who were seconded to him by Raila Odinga to serve in his cabinet. And again, Kalonzo Musyoka is also very keen on running for the presidency in 2027. He's insisting on a debt which Raila Odinga ought to pay him. But let us not get into those for now. I want us to look at a statement which was issued by Jeremiaj Kioni yesterday. That statement was actually a message which was being delivered to Rigathi Gachagua after William Ruto had reorganized his government. And talking of William Ruto's reorganization of the government, I did a video. In that video, I opined that Ruto gave Mudavadi some roles, which in my view was intended to raise the profile of Mudavadi. I'm going to share that particular video on in the description section of this particular video. And for those who've been following the politics of this country very closely, Rigathi Gachagua is a disturbed man. And Jeremiaj Kioni reminded him that William Ruto is done and dusted with him. But he delivers certain messages to Rigathi Gachagua. So in this video, I want us to look at the message which Jeremiaj Kioni delivered to Rigathi Gachagua. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us get back to the main issue. And I want to go straight into the statement by Jeremiaj Kioni, and I'm going to address certain statements which he made, which actually shocked me. The first statement which Jeremiaj Kioni stated was that Rigathi Gachagua is actually firing chiefs and assistant chiefs from the mountain who supported Uhuru Kenyatta.
The deputy president confirmed the other day that he was responsible or in charge of the reshuffling and the sacking of some of the regional commissioners who supported the Jubilee, the Azimio government. We now have learned actually that some of the chiefs, assistant chiefs, even ACCs within Mount Kenya region have been suspended, some sacked, others transferred, kihorera horera. And we want to remind the current government that the public servants today are expected to serve the government of the day, the UDA government. Those public servants who are serving the government of the day, then the Jubilee government. To punish them today is to tell the others that they should not also be serving UDA government, because come the next government, they will be punished for having served it.
If you study the politics of this country, one of the main reasons why Ruto government gained sympathy was because there was a feeling that the government was targeting Ruto and that those who were supporting Ruto were being fired from government. I don't understand why Rigathi Gachagua cannot understand these basic things, because history always repeats itself. So if Rigathi Gachagua is indeed firing some of these chiefs and assistant chiefs, their time is coming, and it will not take long. I want to play for you this particular clip of Rigathi Gachagua advising the government on how they were going to use their powers not to victimize any public servant. Listening to Rigathi also.
Mwelekeo tuweze kusaidia hawa wana Kirinyaga. Niguo andũ aitũ. Hau nĩ hega. Mimi nashukuru nyinyi, Your Excellency. Kama kuna watu wamefurahia uongozi wako na wewe kuwa rais wa Kenya, ni watu ya Kirinyaga. Kama kuna watu wamejua maana ya uhuru, ni watu ya Kirinyaga. Hawa wananchi walikuwa wamekaliwa vibaya sana. Walikuwa hawapumui. Hata stadium na iko Kirinyaga hawezi tumia. Hao machifu wetu hawa walikuwa wamekaliwa vibaya. Nyinyi machifu, hata nyinyi mmepata uhuru. Na nyinyi machifu wa Kirinyaga, mimi najua vile mmeumia. Tafadhali, serikali ya William Ruto haina mpango yeyote ya kutumia nyinyi kwa mambo ya siasa. Siasa yetu tutapanga wenyewe. Nyinyi machifu sasa mmepata uhuru, mrudi kazi ya kusaidia wananchi na maendeleo, mambo ya siasa imeisha.
Number two, the second thing which is coming out from this particular statement is that Rigathi is promising that the government are going to go after cartels. And it's not very clear on the cartels they are planning to go after. Because the alleged cartels I know in this country who have done businesses with government before are actually, and who are facing criminal cases in court, their cases are being dropped. The other day you saw Wambui wa Ruto, who had cases with the KRA, her case was dropped.
Gachagua has also said that he is going to go for the cartels, so-called cartels, of the people who worked with the Jubilee government. That vindictive approach is really the perpetuation or perfection of a political agenda. If it is a real criminal thing, then they should allow the institutions or the agencies that have been set in the constitution to perform their work. Anything else is weaponizing the same agencies, is actually perfecting the capture, the state capture that they seem to have had a lecture on. And these are issues that will certainly make this government very unpopular.
Several others, but Rigathi is talking of cartels. So basically he's talking of people who did business with government but supported Uhuru Kenyatta. What is coming out of this for Rigathi Gachagua, if he might not know, is that he's now coming out as vindictive. The government is also coming out as vindictive, targeting specific individuals. Because why would they then say, like Ruto was saying, that they're still busy fixing the economy and that's why they're not dealing with these cartels? Personally, I would want to see the alleged cartels. Because if these cartels stashed some money abroad, they grabbed lands, then what needs to be done is that those lands, those money need to be returned. Rigathi Gachagua was facing some case and these accounts were frozen. Already the cases have been withdrawn. So I don't know how he's going to deal with the issue of cartels while they themselves, their government is busy withdrawing cases. The third thing which is also coming out is the fact that Kenya Kwanza, according to Jeremiaj Kioni, is going to be a one-term government.
And I want to tell you, given the trade we have seen in the last 100 days now plus, this is a one-term government. I am certain. The same Kenyans who put them in office are the same Kenyans who stop them. Whether they plan to rig 2027, whether they have their brothers and sisters in the IEBC, This government will not see 2027 if this is the trend that they have taken.
Being a one-term government means that whatever they are doing now, they should do them well, so that even when they'll be out of power, then they will not be victimized. And that's why he was being reminded that the same people, they are now removing and replacing. Those who are supporting them will also be replaced by another government. But the question which is bothering me, how will Uhuru and Raila and Kalonzo succeed in removing Jubilee government from power if they're not united? It's going to be a tall order for them. Actually, William Ruto should actually just, for me, unless something happen, should start preparing his speech for 2027, because the opposition is actually divided and that division is going to escalate. But that's something Jeremiaj Kioni is telling them. Number 4 is that Ruto is done with Rigathi Gachagua. And this is something which is being discussed within the political circles. That number 1, William Ruto is strategic in his approach on dealing with Rigathi Gachagua. He's making Rigathi Gachagua a vessel to speak.
And for Gachagua, the die is cast. William is done with you. If he had any respect for you, he will not be shifting you from one office to the other. He will not be using you. He will not be using you as the cannon, because the mouth has a loose cannon, and he has been used. His mouth is the weapon to hit others. As you go down, leave the Kikuyu community alone. Don't go down with it. I thank you.
And whenever Rigathi Gachagua speaks, he comes out as a real typical Kikuyu leader, not a Kenyan leader. He's the deputy president. So he's coming out as a typical Kikuyu leader. And one thing the president has succeeded is to portray Rigathi Gachagua as someone who is uncouth. Remember, the other day, Edwin Sifuna released a statement, and a rejoinder came from a member of parliament. I think the Mandela member of parliament, and the guy talked of circumcision. Being that Sifuna is an ODM member of parliament, an ODM senator, the guy thought that he's a Luo. So Rigathi Gachagua can actually go that low. But Ruto is strategic. As much as he's making Rigathi Gachagua to make noise, Rigathi Gachagua is committing mistakes. He's elevating Mudavadi to be a national leader. At the same time, he's preparing Ndindi Nyoro, he's preparing Mudavadi, so that by the time we'll be going for an election, Rigathi Gachagua will just be a shell. But I don't want us to get into those. I want us to try and understand why Jeremiaj Kioni actually had to come out and speak at a time when the mountain was trying to rally around Rigathi Gachagua. Number 1, in my view, I'm reading the hands of Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm seeing Jeremiaj Kioni's speech as an extension or attempt by Uhuru Kenyatta to make a comeback. Jeremiaj Kioni is the Secretary General of Jubilee. Uhuru is the party leader of Jubilee. And by Jeremiaj Kioni coming up, because Jubilee had started leaning towards Rigathi Gachagua, by Jeremiaj Kioni coming out, it simply means that he had strict instructions from the party leader, who is Uhuru Kenyatta. Number 2 is the issue of Mount Kenya kingpin. When Rigathi Gachagua speaks, he speaks as the real Mount Kenya kingpin. But there are those who still believe that despite the fact that he was defeated, Uhuru Kenyatta is still the Mount Kenya kingpin. Jeremiaj Kioni coming out simply means that they still regard Uhuru Kenyatta as the kingpin of the mountain, and not really Rigathi Gachagua. And lastly, the other thing which is coming out is that William Ruto is fueling the Mudavadi Rigathi rivalry. I don't know what you think, and that's my take. Thank you, and may you have a good day.